Hi dear students, so our lesson for today is all about global demography. So before we start that, our learning objectives is learn the global demographic trends, know the relationship between population and economic welfare, and 3, understand the current demographic condition of the 20th century. So the word demography is a combination of two Greek words, demo, which means people, and graphy, which means writing or description or measurement. So, meaning to say, demography is the statistical or quantitative study of human populations. And it includes also study of the size, structure, and distribution of a different populations. And especially changes in them in response to birth, migration, aging, and death. Why do we need to study of demography? It is useful for governments and private businesses as a means of analyzing and predicting social, cultural, and economic trends related to population and identifying potential solutions. So, according to Donald J. Bogue, demography is the statistical and mathematical study of the size, composition, spatial distribution of human population, and of changes over time in these aspects through the operation of the 5 processes of fertility, mortality, marriage, migration, and social mobility. So we have here birth or fertility rate. It is measure of the average number of children born to women during their reproductive years. So birth rate, also known as natality, is a total number of live human births per 1,000 population for a given period divided by the length of the period in years. It is a demographic measure that helps compare birth rates across different populations and countries. So as you can see in the graphic, global fertility rate, as you can see in 1990 to 1995, the rate is 3%, and 2010 to 2015, the rate is 2.5, and so on. So, why fertility and birth rate are falling? Fertility and birth rates have been declining in many parts of the world due to a combination of social, economical, cultural, and individual factors. Here are some reasons why fertility or birth rate are falling. Most of us educated women tend to prioritize their careers and personal development, which may lead to delayed marriage and childbearing. In many societies, the cost of raising children has risen significantly. Housing, education, and childcare expenses can deter couples from having more children or prompt them to have none at all. As women gain more opportunities in the workforce, they may choose to focus on their careers rather than starting families early. This trend is especially evident in regions where gender equality is improving. So let's proceed in migration. So migration means movement of individuals, households, and group between residences or residential locations. So, migration plays an important role in the distribution of population and supply of labor. Demography studies the factor that leads to internal and external migration of people within a country and between countries, the effects of migration on the migrants, and the place where they migrate. So, why most of people migrate in other countries? Many individuals seek better employment prospects and higher wages than what is available in their home country. People may migrate to countries with stable economies to enhance their quality of life and secure better futures for themselves and their families. Some migrate to pursue higher education or specialized training, hoping that it will lead to better job opportunities. And individuals often migrate to be with family members who have already settled in other country. Aging or population aging, refers to the changes in the age composition of a population such that there is an increase in the proportion older person. People worldwide are living longer. Today, most people can expect to live into their 60s and beyond. Every country in the world is experiencing growth in both the size and the proportion of older person in the population. So let's proceed in death or mortality rate. So yun na nga. Mortality rate is the average number of deaths in a particular population. An important specific mortality rate measure is the crude death rates. What's the meaning of this? Crude death rates is defined as the mortality rate from all causes of death for a population. So we already talked about the changes in birth, migration, aging, and death. So now, family. Family is the basic unit of the society. We all know that one. So we have here rural and urban. Rural and urbanized communities are families. So we have here the rural communities, areas or characteristics associated with the countryside. So these communities prepare to have more children because some of them, especially yung mga sakahan, they think na pag maraming anak nila, mas marami ang makakatulong sa kanila sa pagsasaka. Pero hindi lang sa rural communities, but some part of urban, kadalasan sa part ng poor district kasi iniisip nila na pag maraming anak, ang mindset nila is yun, yung makakatulong sa mga small business nila or yun yung magtataguyod sa family nila someday. So the more, the merrier ika. We have here in urbanized communities refers to cities or people who live in the cities. So educated and professional families with 2 incomes, they decide to just 1 or 2 children because of their commitments on their jobs. That's why they don't have enough time kung magkakaroon pa sila ng maraming anak. O nga naman, diba? So, take note, classmate, that this different version of family life determine the economic and social policies that conscious craft regarding their respective populations. So now we proceed in. So I have 6 importance of demography. Number 1 is health planning. Number 2, planning for food supply. Number 3, housing planning. Number 4, employment planning. Number 5, educational planning. And 6, migration planning. The importance of demography lies in its ability to provide insights into human populations and their dynamic. So we have number 1, health planning. Demography is important in healthcare planning because it helps to understand population dynamics and how population change in response to the interplay between fertility, mortality, and migration. This understanding is for making forecasts about future population size and structure which should underpin healthcare planning. Demographic analysis looks at behavioral change in the population and how this might change a population structure and composition in the medium and long term. 2. Planning for food supply. Planning for food supply means availability of adequate food for the total population. The inadequate food results in the poor health, low growth, high mortality rates, and low physical activity. Food supply grows with the growth of population. These undeveloped and underdeveloped countries are unable to meet the demands of food supply. They depend on other countries for fulfillment of their basic food needs. So, population study is important to meet the demands of food of the poor countries through the aid of the national as well as international agencies. So, we have here housing planning. When the size of population is increasing, of course, the demand for housing is also increasing. Therefore, data collected about fertility, mortality, migration, urbanization, and family formation gives basis for the estimation of housing planning. Demography is concerned that how the problem of housing of a large population should be solved according to the estimates prepared by Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, or ESCAP. The number of persons in the age group 15 to 24 in 1970 are likely to increase from 379 million to 469 in 1980. So the population increasing rapidly, which creates so many problems of housing, and these are undertaken by the field of social demography. So number 4, employment planning. This is important. Unemployment is a social and international problem. From developed to underdeveloped as well as undeveloped countries, the employment problem growing rapidly. A demographic factor is the high dependency ratio in less developed countries. For example, in Pakistan, 4 or 5 person depends on the income of one person. So, for employment planning, population study and dependency ratio must be studied. Therefore, demography studies all aspects of population where it makes planning for employment and employment problems. So, number 5, we have educational planning. Today, every nation is concerned with providing proper education to children. The numbers of children are constantly increasing, which creates educational problems. The demographers are interested to make planning for these children or of a specific area or the whole country. Due to educational planning by demographers, these children should be provided proper educational facilities. Education is also provided to a large number of population, and demography has estimated the future plan for education. So lastly, we have migration planning. Most of the people are migrated to Western countries. It is necessary to estimate the trends of migration, the immigrants, and the heavy burden on other countries. It is the study of social demography to make plans to stop the problem. A large number of immigrants from a country affects a population adversely, and qualitative change occur. Because these immigrants may be expert as well as skilled and qualified persons, which affects the economy of a country very badly. Due to immigration to a country, the population growth takes place, which is hardly for the development of a country. For example, a large number of people who are illiterate and poor are coming from Bangladesh to India, which creating difficulties particularly in the states of West Bengal and Assam. So the migration planning is made by the government as well as non-governmental organization and agency to overcome the problem of migration. It is the main study of social demography. So we already discussed about the importance of demography, health planning, planning for food supply, housing planning, employment planning, and etc. So we have here the top 10 most populous countries. This data reflects the projected population for the year 2025. Before, the top 1 is China, now is India. So number 1 is India, number 2 China, number 3 United States, number 4 Indonesia, number 5 Pakistan, number 6 Nigeria, number 7 Brazil, number 8 Bangladesh, number 9 Russia, and number 10 Mexico. In the year 1925, we have 2 billion population in this world, and 1950, 2.5 billion, 1975, 4 billion, and 2000, year 2000 is 6 billion, and lastly, year 2025 is 8 billion. So, ganun tayo karami sa buong mundo, at ikaw lang yung na-meet ko. Charot. So, this is our end of our lesson for today. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening this all about global demography.